Hi, production team. So I'm just doing a quick video. Hopefully it'll be quick. I didn't have time to get into my other setting. So just a few things. Firstly about this weekend. So going into the service, whoever is like the TD, the technical director, timing is really going to matter as far as our transitions, especially how we're using that the 2:3:5 aspect ratio, changing to that, going into the service, coming out of the pre-service video, going into worship. We're probably gonna have to take that a little bit earlier. There is that transition I mentioned in the last video. I didn't have time to actually test it properly, so I didn't want to use it. If I have time for this Sunday, I will implement it. Otherwise, we will just use what we did previously again. I will actually just give you a few more cues as to how we need to execute it, just to make it more effective. That being said, though, obviously we're doing new things, and it's not going to be perfect. But that being said, in 6 months' time, the things that we're struggling with now, we shouldn't be struggling with then. Going into the worship set, going into Brian saying hi, I think we did pretty well as far as getting his name up there, all that kind of stuff. And in this video, just so I don't forget to actually say, I will actually play a portion of the online mix, how it was recorded for the stream, and then myself, actually it was Brian, myself, and Jeff Cole, who is a sound engineer. We were in there on Tuesday, and we actually did a bit of a remix.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Would you stand? We're excited to worship with you this morning. I hope you're awake. We're going to have some fun together. Let's lift our voices and hearts to the Lord. Goodbye, yesterday. I'm living in the light of a new day. I won't waste another minute in my whole ways. Praise the Lord, I've been born again. Goodbye, yesterday. I'm living in the light of a new day. I won't waste another minute in my own ways. Praise the Lord, I've been born again. Oh, I've been born again. Again and again and again and again. You rescued me out of the mess I was in. Traded my sorrow for something to sing. Now I'm dancing on the grave that I once lived in. Goodbye, yesterday. I'm living in the light of a new day. I won't waste another minute in my own ways. Praise the Lord, I've been born again.
We did take some time in doing it. That being said, though, my friend Jeff, who is an engineer, he was the one who actually took the time in doing that. The only thing, the shortcoming in this, is that when we exported it, it didn't actually export it as a WAV file or a AIFF file, a proper sound file. It was what you call an M42, I think an M42A or something like that. Anyway, which is a more compressed a file. And so the sound that you're going to hear, it is the levels. We changed a few of the levels, the EQs and all that kind of stuff. But because of the compression that it actually did, the file size should have come out maybe as a few gigs, but it came up as, I think, 137 megs. Anyway, so it didn't have what we were hearing when we were actually mixing it is not exactly what it was when I put it on the timeline. So anyway, that being said, I just thought I'd throw that in there because I want you guys to, I'm going to throw up a video at the end of this. I'm going to put a link in there, or maybe it'll show you the next video coming up, where you can actually listen to you can listen and watch the first 3 songs of worship with with us remixing it, and those levels for those of you doing sound, those levels will kind of be the same moving into the weekend. Obviously, the faders, you're going to change them so that whoever is leading vocals, and tweaking a few things. Drums to some extent will kind of stay the same. But anyway, you'll get the gist of it. So obviously, this whole thing of doing the cinema verite, the movement of the camera, I think you guys are doing pretty well. This week we had Alex on, and it was Gabby, and then Ethan was on again, and then Owen actually joined as well. And yeah, obviously there's nuances to everything like that. The more you guys do it, the more you listen to, some of the things that I want you to understand, you will kind of get it. Just make sure that the cameras are not just doing this. Okay, they're not just doing that. Even if it's slow like that, it needs to be kind of, needs to be moving, like, depending on the song. But it's not like some people, in some ways it could be a figure of 8 if you look at it, but then it's just really slowed down, and it doesn't always have to end in a figure of 8. You know what I mean? So the shot is moving like this, and then maybe instead of going up again, it comes back this way. And because of how we're doing it, our framing doesn't have to be center all the time. It can be, like if you watch movies a lot of times, they actually have things like off center. They do like thirds or quarters or whatever it is, fourths. So we can break the rules. That's a nice thing. It's almost like piano. Classical piano has a lot of rules to it. Okay, so you got to play a certain way. Then you go into jazz and all that kind of stuff, and you use what you learned, but then you can start to break the rules. This is kind of the same thing. So we're using the fundamentals, but now we're learning. We're actually going to be breaking some of the rules. But it's really important to understand the movement and things. So it's not short little movements. They're longer movements. But like I said, the feedback that we are receiving is really positive, and I just want to thank you guys for actually going ahead with this and just being prepared to jump in there and go for it. It's really awesome. And you guys are considering. I've just really just thrown it at you, coming from someone who's been doing this for many years. You guys are doing pretty well. It's like I am sometimes a little bit surprised at how quickly some of you are taking to this, and it's really awesome. And just people, like I've even got a few texts, even on Sunday, and then even this week, I had people tell me that what's happening, what you guys are making happen online is just really amazing. So thank you so much, because yeah, it's just wonderful. Thank you. I'm trying to think. I don't want to make this long. Once again, we just need to make sure that when I'm going to talk about so your equipment, your instruments. These are your instruments. The cameras. If you're on cameras, your instrument. Sound. That's your instrument in essence. Okay. Media, ProPresenter. Technical directing. Moving ahead, lighting, whatever. So we just need to make sure that our stations are set up the way we want it. Our cameras are set up the way we want it. That pan and tilt are nice and loose for worship. And then when we go, then you need to decide, you need to figure out, okay, that when we're going into the message, that depending on what camera we're taking, when we're going into it, that, so if your camera 1, and we're ending worship, you're going to be out of the shot, because now we're back to doing that pre-roll message video, bumper video. Then you've got time to quickly tighten up your pan and tilt, okay? Because we don't want to go into the message with it being loose. And that's another thing, is if you do notice that your shot is off slightly, then just make slow movements to correct it. We don't want to be reactionary. We want to be responsive. Okay, there's a difference. Reactionary is that you're like, oh crap, what happened? And I need to adjust. No, responsive is like, it could still be oh crap, but then you're just adjusting your shot nice and gently, because that way it looks intentional. Because even for people watching online, they could be aware, okay, the framing is not correct, oh, but it's gently coming right, and it just looks intentional. It doesn't look like it's a mistake per se. Moving ahead, once again, though, we of course we want to make sure our framing is good by the time we are taking those shots. As soon as the speaker or the hosts are coming out. Okay, hope that makes sense. Once again, if you guys have questions and feedback and stuff like that, just let me know. Yeah, and concerns, anything like that. I'm hoping on cameras 1 and 2, those big monitors, those Lilliput monitors helped, especially with the 2 through 5. I mean, cameras 1, 2, and 4 had that on it. I didn't have time. I didn't think we were going to have a camera. Camera 3 was going to be operational. I mean, we did in the second service. And Gabby, actually, hopefully you're going to get to watch this as well. I thought you actually did, considering you were on camera, you got kind of thrown in on camera 3, even though you were on camera 2 on the first service. I think for the most part, I thought you did pretty well over there. The one thing I just want to kind of stress, though, is that, and this is moving ahead, this doesn't have to, we're not going to try and make it all happen at once. But just remember the thing that I told you like probably weeks ago, is that unless I say hold the shots, which I do that occasionally, we'll just use camera 1 as an example. Camera 1, because we're looking at like, we could go for an ECU on that one, whatever, extreme close up, and then we can get looser on the shot. So if you've given me a shot, like let's say a close up, a real close up on that, and then I'm cutting to camera 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, then give me a different shot. It could also be something else as well. Look, find something interesting. Yeah. For now, I do want, unless otherwise stated, I do want camera 1 to stay with the lead vocal. But moving ahead, I'm going to be asking you to find interesting shots. But right now, we're just going to learn I just want to kind of get you guys to learn the fundamentals of what we're going for. But now, so just, so you've got the close up, camera 2, we're taking camera 2, camera 1 now find find different framing on the same thing. Loosen up the shot or something like that. The same thing goes for everything else. Camera 2, maybe you're on a 2 shot. Okay, we're going to camera 1, going back to 1. Give me a 3 shot or something like that. Just we're keeping on changing it up, making it interesting. When I can figure out how we can actually get these zooms to work on them, then we can actually do push in and pull out. I mean, camera 1 may be a bit tricky because of the way we're cropping the 4K sensor. Camera 2, we may be able to pull it off on that. And anyway, yeah, so I'm trying to be hopeful, yeah. So I really want to encourage everyone to watch these videos, these things that I'm doing, because these are things that can help you learn and grow, and you can also understand where I'm coming from and what I'm communicating moving into the weekend. I'm going to really try and do these. That's why it's kind of like a little late on my side, and I'm kind of doing it over here in my office. So also, we may potentially be having a rehearsal for sound with band on Monday, and whoever, I will let you know for surezies, if it's such a word, if we're going to do it. I think for now I think we are going to do a Monday rehearsal for, it's supposed to be for sound, and band members are going to be there, but my encouragement is for camera people and production people and per se to come. And like I said, even if it's 30 minutes that you can only come for, that's great. So we can actually get to be on the equipment, we can try things, we can do things, we can learn, make mistakes, you can ask questions. I mean, there we're not under a time crunch. We can actually just take our time and we can try different things. I can tell you to try and execute different shots, and we can see if we can pull them off, because in moving ahead, we could potentially use them. So, yeah. So it'll be, so this coming Monday in the evening, in the auditorium. So that being said, I think that's good for now. Yeah. So once again, thank you guys for your involvement. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for the way that you are supporting in the direction that we are going. And I think it's going to be fun. I hope you guys are having fun. And I look forward to the Sunday with you all.